Hello, this is a video tutorial for the assignments in Unit 1, Activity 3. And this will be the last activity in Unit 1, so these will be the last assignments of the unit. So if we take a look, Assignment 1 is going to be called Verbal Cues. And what you're going to do is you're going to listen to a CBC News report called Most Canadians Worry About Affording the Basics. And here is the report right here. You might notice that the people in the video clip aren't wearing masks and they aren't social distancing. That's because this video clip is from 2 years ago, right before COVID started. But it's going to be about how most Canadians are starting to feel pressure, when it comes to paying for basic needs, things like groceries and utility bills, and about how rent and housing costs have gotten so high in Canada. So it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to. So take a look at this video clip, and then what you're going to do is you're going to answer these 5 questions. So what I would do is, just like with previous questions that we've done in Unit 1, is I would copy these questions and paste them right into a Microsoft Word document or right into a Google Doc, and then answer the questions and submit your answers to the Dropbox here, right? Just to do a quick run through with the questions here. These questions are going to be the same as questions that you will have hopefully already answered in the content page. There was a practice CBC News clip and questions very similar to this, and you can see the answers in the content if you want to kind of look at examples. Okay. But just to take a look here, it says, number 1, describe the tone of the news report. Provide 2 examples from the report to support your description of the tone. So when you watch this news report, is the tone serious? Is it humorous? Is it joyful? What is the tone? What is kind of the feeling that is being sent from the journalist that's telling the news story, and from the people that are being interviewed? Okay, and then give me examples from the news report. Maybe there'll be direct quotes. Maybe there'll be a specific moment in the news clip. But give me examples to support whatever tone you think is being presented. Okay. Number 2, it says identify 2 important words or phrases that are said in the news report that are necessary to understanding the report's message. So there might be some words in this news report that you're not familiar with, and so maybe you'll have to look them up. And you might find some words that you learn that are important. Maybe you already know all of the words in the news report as well too, but you should be able to find at least 2 important words or phrases. And when I say phrases, that means 2 or 3 word phrases. Okay, so see if you can find 2 examples of important words or phrases that are important to understanding the message of this news report, and then provide a definition for those 2 words or phrases. So a dictionary type definition. So show me that you can define those words and terms and that you understand what they mean. Okay? Again, when you're picking your words or phrases, choose 2 words or phrases that you feel are important to the news report's message, or to understanding what the news report is trying to say. Number 3, it says explain how intonation is used in the news report. Provide 2 examples where the speaker raises his or her voice or pauses for emphasis. So you can use the journalist that's telling the story, or you can use the people that are being interviewed. It doesn't matter. The speaker can be anyone in the news clip. But see if you can find specific examples and identify who is speaking and what was said when they were raising their voice or pausing, when they were using intonation. Number 4, it says, identify 2 background sounds that are used in the news report. Explain why you think each sound was used in the news report. So is there background music? Is there particular sounds that you can hear in the background aside from people talking, right? So what are other sounds you can hear in the background while people are being interviewed or while the camera is shooting a particular shot? Identify 2 of those background sounds and then explain for each sound why do you think that it's in the news report. What does it add to the news report? How does it help tell the story? And then number 5, explain the overall perspective or message in the news report. Provide 2 examples from the report to support your explanation. So what is the overall message here in this news report? If you could summarize it in one sentence, what is the journalist trying to say? Okay, and then provide 2 specific examples. I think you'll find that news reports tend to have an opinion or a perspective that they're trying to present. Well, what is the opinion or the perspective in this clip? Okay. Of course, check your answers for spelling and grammar errors and then submit them to the Dropbox. If you have any questions or any trouble with these questions or with this news clip, please let me know. And then we have a second assignment in this activity, and this assignment is called the Unit 1 Review. And as I said, this is our last activity of Unit 1. So what I've done is I've given you review questions that are going to cover the material in the 3 activities in Unit 1. This assignment is not graded, but it will help you prepare for the midterm test at the ending of Unit 2 and also for the final exam. And so what you'd be doing if you download these Unit 1 review questions and answer these questions, you're creating your own notes, your own study guide for the midterm test and eventually for the final exam. So if you do have any trouble downloading or opening this review, it's a Microsoft Word document, but you should be able to open it in Google Docs or hopefully in other word processing programs that you might be using. But if you have trouble downloading it or opening it, please let me know and I can send it to you in another form. Okay? But if we take a quick look, the Unit 1 review looks like this. And so Part A is about the parts of speech that we've been studying. So it's going to ask you to underline or bold nouns and verbs in this little practice exercise. You'll notice that the first sentence in each of these parts of speech exercises is done for you, so you can get an example. So woman is the noun, walked is a verb, and home is another noun. And so they're underlined and bold for you. So see if you can do 2 through 6. For the second one, you've got adjectives and adverbs, and you're going to underline adjectives and bold adverbs. And then in the third and final one, we've got conjunctions and prepositions, and you're going to be asked to underline the conjunctions and bold the prepositions. Again, the first one will be done for you, and then you try 2 through 6. And I find that conjunctions and prepositions often are what troubles students the most here. So if you have any questions while you're working your way through the parts of speech review, please let me know. And then we have Part B, which is going to be a review of the learning strategies that we've had in Unit 1. And so if we go back to Activity 1, you're going to be asked to define and provide an example of the 3 types of texts that we're going to look at this semester. So that's narrative, informational, and graphic. Number 2, what is scanning? Describe how a reader can use scanning. And number 3, what is skimming? Describe how a reader can use skimming. So again, these questions are all right from Activity 1. You should be able to find the answers pretty much directly on the Unit 1, Activity 1 content page. And so you're just hopefully making notes here. You'll find a question about inferences, and then questions about writing strategies. So you've got techniques that writers can use before, during, and after writing. You've got the 3 different parts of a paragraph. You've got a definition for plagiarism and an example. And then tips for being a good active listener. So this will be from activity 3. And then a review of the verbal cues that listeners should use. And so you've got words like tone, intonation, and speaker's perspective that you have to show that you understand. So again, if you answer these questions, you're creating your own review for Unit 1. And then you can, it's not going to be graded, but you can submit your review to this Dropbox, and I'll give you feedback and point out if I notice anything that you seem to be having trouble with. I hope this helps. If you have any questions working your way through the 2 assignments, please let me know.